Resident Evil Requiem just got a massive update, and honestly, the latest trailer from the State of Play might have just revealed too much. We finally have our best look at the gameplay, some of the larger open environments, and the terrifying new zombie evolutions that might make this game one of the hardest Resident Evil games to date. But here's where things get a little bit crazy with this trailer. We finally got details on the Umbrella Curse, or as they call it, Raccoon City Syndrome, that is killing off the survivors. And we also got the realization of the reason we are returning to Raccoon City in the first place. Capcom crushed it with this trailer, but they also confirmed some pretty bad news regarding the demo, as well as some issues that people are having with the physical pre-orders. Today we're breaking down everything. Hit the sub button if you're excited for Resident Evil Requiem. Also check the chapters. I have spoiler tags in each one that I talk about spoilers. So let's start off by talking about the visuals, because trailer 4 is easily the best look we've had at this game so far. The PlayStation State of Play gave us our first real look at the more open environments. We aren't just stuck in tight corridors anymore. The trailer showed off a city location that looks like the start of like something that just broke out. Like, it's the scale here is absolutely impressive. Now the footage showcases Leon approaching civilians who are actively being attacked by zombies in the world. Now this section is obviously gameplay here. Like, this is not a cutscene. You have a choice as well. You could intervene to try to save certain civilians, or you could let them die, which inevitably, if you let them die, then they will eventually turn into a zombie and you will have more zombies to fight, which that's according to Dusk Golem. So there's a bit of strategy. Like, do you actually help every single civilian, or do you run away and then deal with that problem later, which they inevitably turn into zombies, making it so you have to fight even more zombies? So it's like, do you waste the ammo now just to have to use it later, or do you just, you know, run away and hope you make it out alive? Like, I'm just imagining like there's a zombie that is like eating this person and you're like, I could help you, but I don't want to use my ammo. And then 5 minutes later, that same person is now a zombie and is actively chasing after you, trying to kill you. But now let's shift focus and talk about the combat and the zombie evolutions, because Capcom is going crazy with this game. So you guys know the Crimson Heads, right? Basically where you kill a zombie, but if you don't burn it, then it comes back stronger and faster. But with Resident Evil Requiem, they're introducing the Blister Head, which we got to see further in this trailer, which this is a new enemy evolution. If a zombie is not decapitated or permanently destroyed, it mutates into a Blister Head, which is a more aggressive and fast moving threat that explodes with acid bile whenever you get close to it. And it just looks so great in this trailer. You can see that Leon is dealing with these things constantly. They look really terrifying. They sprint at you, they shriek, and it's just, you know, pure nightmare fuel, but it's the good kind, which this forces you to, you know, dispose of the corpses. So part of this game, you'll have to manage the resources of permanently disposing of the bodies of the zombies. Now, one of the ways to dispose of them is to cut their head off, or in this case, like many of the trailers have shown, they put a heavy emphasis on Leon booting their heads and just exploding them. You could see him down a zombie and then stomp on its skull to make it explode. It's brutal, it looks awesome, but it actually serves a purpose. It's not just looking cool to look cool, it's actually, you know, removing the head, making it so that it can't mutate into a blister head or, you know, something else. And then of course the other way to dispose of the zombies, in terms of, you know, whenever you're playing as Grace, she has the injector where she can take the blood from the ground and use that zombie blood to craft various things, for instance an explosion to destroy bodies in groups, which adds yet another resource management layer to her gameplay. Like, you're already limited on ammo, but it's like, in this case, do you use chemicals to make ammo, or do you use them to sanitize a room so you don't get ambushed later? Now in the trailer, another aspect that I really loved is Leon also retains his knife parry mechanic from Resident Evil 4 Remake. In the footage, you can actually see him parrying a lunge from a blister head, and then the sparks start flying off from the knife, and it just looked incredible. Like, the combat looked so fluid, it looked heavy, or I guess weighty in this case, and just incredibly satisfying. You aren't just shooting, you are literally brawling for your existence. Next up, let's talk about the locations we saw during this trailer, and they were pretty intense. Obviously, we have the Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center, which seems to be the main hub, or at least the starting area for the game. Now, on its surface level, it just looks like a modern medical facility, but as Leon goes further, as well as Grace, it looks like it's a front for like a prison with a laboratory complex. Now, this could just be clever editing. It might not be of the same location, but it certainly does seem like this is all from Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center. Now, during the trailer, there was like multiple flashbacks, and it showed quite a different few locations. For instance, we got to see a glimpse of what looked to be an umbrella vault, which is like a massive high-tech spinning vault hidden deep underground, most likely built to survive the bombing of Raccoon City. Who actually built these vaults? Was it Vault Tech? And why does it seem like it's Vault Tech? Now, what's inside of those vaults? Well, that is the question. Obviously, we're not going to speculate in this section, section of the video. We will talk about that later, but let's just say there's a reason they're vaults, and usually whenever you have a vault, you'd make it to, you know, keep something safe and you protect it. But then we got to what is probably my most nostalgic part of this trailer, and that is the journey eventually leading us to the quiet, surprisingly intact Raccoon City. We see the ruined remains of the RPD main hall. Once he opened up those doors, I was like, it looks pretty freaking good, I'm not gonna lie with you. Seeing Leon walk through the ruins of this place where his nightmare began for the first time is so powerful. Another thing that I'd like to note is as he's driving to Raccoon City, you can actually see the gas station on the right side with his Jeep right there. So yes, that Jeep was basically there for 28 years, and it's just so nostalgic. Capcom, you're spoiling us quite a bit. Like, you already sold me on the game, but now you got me wanting to play this thing right now. Like, I don't want to wait any more time. Just let me play the game right now, please. Okay, so now let's go ahead and shift focus to the story and the characters. One big quick warning, this section will contain heavy narrative spoilers that they showed off during the trailer 4. And if you guys don't want to hear about any of the main mystery that was revealed during trailer 4, proceed with caution. I gave you guys my word leading up to launch that I'd make this channel a safe haven. If you want to go in blind, skip to the next section of the video right now. I'll give you guys a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the Umbrella Curse, which that Umbrella Curse is officially known as Raccoon City Syndrome, which is fatal. The trailer officially named the condition that is killing Leon. It is called the Latent Onset T-Virus Syndrome, or casually Raccoon City Syndrome, which this confirms the theory that we discussed in my last video regarding the 6 survivors line. Both Leon S. Kennedy and Sherry are confirmed to be infected. Also, Sherry is grown up now and she's back, but also she's infected. And this is why they both wear black gloves. In the trailer, you actually see Leon pulling off his glove and you could see the black bruise-like marks and the mutation spreading up their arms. It's not just a rash, it is the virus waking up. Now, the trailer actually paused on a file that gave us a word-for-word report on the condition, which states this, and I quote, "This report outlines the current research on latent onset T-virus syndrome, henceforth referred to as Raccoon City Syndrome. Raccoon City Syndrome occurs when a residual T-virus within the body mutates over a prolonged period of time. I have yet to find an effective treatment, and when it manifests, the results are fatal." The report breaks it down into stages. Stage 0, dormant. The virus lies temporarily dormant within the host due to the presence of specific antibodies, which this explains why Leon and Sherry have both survived for 28 years. Sherry has G-virus antibodies, and Leon, well, he's got plot armor, but also the antibodies as well. Stage 1, activation. The virus becomes active and black and bruise-like marks begin to appear on parts of the body. Stage 2, development. The black marks spread further across the body, extending to the internal organs. Stage 3, terminal. The black marks darken and spread across the entire body. Patients at the terminal stage typically die within 1 to 2 hours. So there you have it, 1 to 2 hours. That right there is the ticking clock. I could just imagine at the end of the game, Leon hits stage 3 and it's almost over, but he's got to rush the clock for 2 hours to try to find the cure. This adds a lot of like really exciting context to the gameplay. Is this a, dynamic infection? Does it progress as we play? Now, additionally, we got some major details on the villains. Obviously, there is Dr. Gideon, who is the Hooded Man, which he is a former Umbrella scientist who helped create the original T-virus. Now, what I find interesting is he also appears to be suffering from the syndrome himself. We could see the black marks on his face and under the hood. So perhaps rather than trying to destroy the rest of the world, he might be trying to save himself. I have a feeling that Grace might be immune to the, Raccoon City Syndrome, and that's why he kidnapped her as well as the 6 other survivors. He might be trying to get a cure for himself so that he can actually, live. But there have been some conflicting statements that he's said in the trailers and stuff that I don't know if that's the case. I don't really know his full motives, but that's just my current theory. Now, he's also keeping a girl named Emily in isolation, which she has a storybook called Shadow Ghost, which the camera, stays on this book multiple times. Is Emily the cure? Perhaps is she just a sample? And then there's Grace, who he said, "My master made you who you are." So this could, reinforce the clone theory that, Grace isn't just a random survivor. Perhaps she's been manufactured. I'm really curious about her past, who is she related to? And then obviously this trailer further confirms Leon's motivation for returning to the RPD, to which he said again in this trailer, 6 other Raccoon City survivors have already died from this same syndrome. So it confirms his reasoning for going back to the Raccoon City. He's not just going back there for nostalgia, he's going back to try to save himself. And maybe in RPD, there's maybe medical records or samples from the 1998 outbreak that Gideon needs to, create a cure. sure. At least that's the current theory. Again, I'm just speculating. I have no idea. Okay, we made it through it. Ada Wong is confirmed. Just kidding. This is the spoiler-free zone that we're going to talk about a little bit of bad news. So during the state of play, we were all coping and seething that we would get a Resident Evil Requiem demo to be confirmed. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Our hopes of a demo are officially over. The state of play was really the only last time that I thought a reveal for that could happen. Usually Capcom drops like the available now screen at the end of these trailers, but no, we just got the release date reminder. So that means we were just going to be going into this release fully blind, raw on day one, no practice run, no performance testing or anything like that. We were just jumping right into it. And honestly, I'm cool with that. Heck, I even think that we don't need another trailer. I've thought that for a couple trailers now, but we're at the point where we do not need another trailer. I kind of even regret watching this one because of the story implications. They showed a lot. I'm telling you guys, a lot. If you're already sold about this game, stop watching the trailers. I promise you, you don't need to watch another one. Okay, on a serious note, we got a little bit of housekeeping to do. I would recommend checking your pre-orders. Right now, I've seen a bunch of people report that they're having problems with their Amazon pre-orders. Some people are seeing delays heavily into next month, and others are seeing them straight up get canceled without warning. So if you haven't checked your status in a while, I strongly recommend doing so. And I would recommend if your order is like stuck on pending, you might want to switch to a different retailer because you don't want to be the only person without a copy on launch day because some other company decided to sell their full stock and you get stuck with nothing on launch day. Unless you're buying it digital, then you guys are chill. So that right there is the update that we have on Resident Evil Requiem. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the trailer? What is your take on the gameplay that we've seen? Hit the like button, subscribe with your noties on, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.